of the game here, but there's actually a gank going on the mid lane. If RTK dies here, he may end up going, he does end up going down first blood. So while the supports for Vici Gaming were getting in position to gank mid, the supports for Vici, or Newbee, sorry, were already successful in getting a kill. And they had a ton of disables here. They had a lift for 1.5 seconds, they had shackles for 2.75 seconds, and they followed this up with a immobilize for 1 second. So 3 heroes, or at least 2 heroes, was during the entire duration of that just auto-attacking. That's more than enough to kill a hero.
Right, and remember, whoever gets the killing blow for first blood gets extra gold.
Yeah.
And that goes to Shadow Shaman again.
Really?
This was that game 1 that happened for Newbee? I believe so, because he had boots super fast. In fact, he can buy them right off the bat now. This will give him a big time movement speed bonus over everybody else since it's such an early time in the game. And considering he's a hero that relies on where he's positioned, this is pretty huge. But again, it is against the Weaver, so either way, it'll still be quite difficult. In fact, they do have 1 sentry. This is a ward you can place that will show invisible units, meaning anytime Weaver is in the vicinity of it, using Shikuchi, they will be able to see him and perhaps kill him, although he's still, even with that, somewhat difficult. You need to get all 3 nukes on him from Newbee's tri-lane.
So it basically becomes a game of cat and mouse. Because Super here is playing in the off lane, which is the dangerous lane, he wants to try to sap as much experience as possible. Every time one of these creeps dies, he wants to stand about this far away from it. And as it does go down, he will do that. So he wants to stand within range, he wants to get experience. This is the experience bar down here. He wants to get levels, and with levels, he can put the levels into his skill points, and it makes them better. And they scale in different ways. They might get more damage, they might give him lower cooldowns, so you can use it more often. They might cost less mana. There's a lot of ways things change. Geminate attack, for example, this is his critical strike ability. It just lowers the cooldown so he gets to critical strike more often. And since he's against 3 heroes, he has to play very, very safe, and he wants to make sure that both of these supports don't get behind him. But he has an observer ward over here, which is spotting their movements at all time, and this is why he's able to do this. And the sentry is actually wasted by Song Cheng, and he's going to watch that because he's going to look at their items and see, okay, he put a sentry down, I know it's here, and that means now that he can be fairly safe down in this area. He doesn't know exactly where this was placed, but he knows it's probably about here, and these supports are just going to try to keep him out of experience range if possible, and if they do that, they're going to do their job.
Yeah, to get a good comparison between the 2 offlaners, so Weaver right now is 3.5, and of course he'd be in a lot of trouble if he gets caught off guard, because they do have a ton of disables and a ton of damage. Doom is a little bit higher in levels, level 3. He's going to have Devour in 5 seconds. In fact, he's in the enemy jungle. He's going to get surrounded. Nature's probably going to teleport in. Don't think he has very early in the game.
Oh, they're going to turn this though.
We're doing so much damage. They're going to be able to pick off Venomancer, make that 2 sanking should fall in the end. Oh, Doom barely gets killed thanks to the right click of Ancient Apparition. I don't believe Ember Spirit.
Oh man, 25
he gets him with Sleight of Hand. Barely enough mana to get that off even. Those bottle charges for the win. That is 3 kills for Newbee in that engagement, and all they lost was the Doom.
Doom is not the hero that you want to go all in on killing. I mean, he has a stout shield. This has a chance to block 20 damage, which is about 30% of your early hits. He had 2 points in his skill Scorched Earth that gives him 18 HP per second for 12 seconds, and it does that in damage. So it's actually a pretty good nuke if you get the full duration off. And the Venomancer shifted over, and what happened was the Ember Spear came over, and he disabled them for 2 seconds, and he was doing AoE damage. And the Doom was doing AoE damage, and they just cleaned them up so rapidly there. And if they get 3 kills and they only lose 1 hero, especially on an offlane hero, what a good trade here. If they get disabled, this could be a dead RTK. Oh, the stun's not going to land. And Gale's going to miss.
And keep in mind, Doom did eat a creep, the Centaur that has a stun ability, but he has to be very close to get to him. And of course, Venomancer, he's all about slows, so it'd be pretty difficult to get it off unless Ember Spirit was able to initiate. But I mean, that was just a random number generator. Goodness, right?
So it just turned nighttime here, that's why everything's a lot darker. If you'll see the Panda moving here, or the Brewmaster, his vision is not very far in comparison to what it was during daytime. So this is generally a time of the night where the supports, or the time during the game where the supports can go around the map and they can try to make kills happen because they're less likely to be seen moving into position. If they get spotted moving into position, they will end up revealing the gank, and then people will generally play safe or not get killed. They just use a smoke now. And what this does is lets them walk through observer wards, which normally would see them, and it doesn't end up working. So it's a consumable item, which means it goes away after you use it, and it's kind of a lot of gold, and they respawn really slowly. But they now know for sure that the enemy team didn't see them with their eyes be here. They can still predict it and say, I bet they're ganking. But look at that perfect positioning. The Doom is going to come forward. There's another disable, and a few easy right clicks means a 100% dead Nature's Prophet, and the smoke's going to pay off for these 2 supports.
And that is now a 5-1 advantage for Newbee. Remember, if they win this, they win the grand finals of the International 2014, and they're off to a very good start. This is a 1v1 matchup in bottom lane, Brewmaster versus Weaver now, because now that it is nighttime, like Purge said, they're going to get less vision, so the heroes, here we go. Actually, the supports are going to be roaming a little bit. They ended up getting killed top, as we saw, and they're going to transition now towards mid. Doom has been all over the place. Now that he has his ultimate, expect a kill.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty much impossible to get away from him once you get that off. The question is, can Venomancer get, like if he ends up getting ganked, he needs to get his slow off beforehand.
I like his movement here. They do have a ward. Oh, this is a rainy ward, so he's good. Ooh, when is this one going to run out? He wants to come and find the Weaver, because if he dooms Weaver, Weaver can't use Sakuchi. Doom is by far the best counter to Weaver as a spell, because it gives him 15 seconds to blow that hero up. And I think he's going to get spotted. This Observer Ward's going to scout him. It lasts for 37 seconds, so if Doom shows up, he'll have a bit of time to back up and run away immediately. But if he can Doom the Weaver, we should see a kill there.
Oh, for sure. And actually, he picks up, so he ate a creep called the Wild Wing, gives him a Tornado ability, which is actually a very expensive costing ability. It costs almost his whole mana pool to use. But because there's so many creeps in this camp, he's just going to use the Tornado to get some easy. This is similar to what Sand King can do, which is on the opposing team. What level is he now? He's level 5, so
maybe
he has
hit
3
7
in Sandstorm. What's that, the Doom?
Yeah, he almost got 7 out of that.
Close.
It's going to cost him all of his mana pool, and now he can't afford Doom. Oh, we see the courier go down. That was the Vici Gaming courier, actually. And that's a big snipe, because it gives everyone on Newbee 175 gold apiece.
Look who was on it, Purge.
There was nothing on it.
2 Observer Wards and 2 Sentries.
How did that... Oh, did that die to neutrals?
Did it?
Where did it die?
Let me see if I can try to click on it. Because I had it found. Yeah, it was right here.
Oh my gosh, that's so unlucky. What ended up happening? Oh, that's so unlucky. I don't know if the Radiant team gets gold for that or not, but the Sand King probably auto-attacked a creep once, and then he started using Sandstorm, and these neutrals auto-attacked the courier down. So they lost their courier for 3 minutes. It might not give Newbee the gold, but that happening is like a freak accident. That's pretty unlucky.
Yeah, it seems the gods are against Vici today.
Yeah.
As they're now down 5-1. And I mean, Doom's been getting pretty lucky with the creeps as well. So his offlane is doing very well now. He's in the jungle level 7 compared to the Weaver, who's level 6, almost level 7. He's not too far behind. In fact, he has 1,600 gold. A lot of times, almost every hero will buy boots pretty early. He might not buy boots because he wants to get to that quick linked sphere. And the reason he wouldn't be at a huge disadvantage is because Sakuchi makes you max speed as well. And looks like we have a defense here up short from Newbee. You see the Fade Bolt dealing a lot of chain lightning damage. Here comes Nature's Prophet. A beautiful initiation on Weaver. Can they actually get him?
He's out of mana.
He's out of mana for the time lapse. He's gonna have to be forced back to yeah. He's gonna have to go heal.
If you take the damage and you wait more than 5 seconds to use time lapse, you actually time lapse back to low HP. So it's not going to help him out. He's just going to have to run all the way back. He didn't have time lapse mana right after the burst damage, so he has to run basically.
What do you think about him going, if he's doing that, going straight for a big item instead of some sort of boost?
Sold 1,600 gold. Well, we'll see what he buys here.
Newbee
doesn't really have that much of a push lineup. They actually have a team fight lineup, so he's going to do a Ring of Aquila. That costs about 1,000 gold, and he buys boots and a TP scroll. So this is a conservative build, and a wand, and a tango. Very, very conservative here. He's going to be just fine.
Gonna teleport bottom. We haven't seen the Brewmaster ult yet because he's waiting to get his Blink Dagger, which is that short instant teleportation that allows him to initiate into battle. He is about 400 or 500 away from that now. This tower will help quite a bit in that case as Weaver takes a little bit of damage. You see him just time lapse right back out. Of course, it's not a very long cooldown for that. It's only a minute at level 1. I believe it goes down to 40.
He doesn't have any items that give him HP regen other than this tango that he's picked up. So he might as well just use it every 60 seconds if it heals him for 225 HP. That's kind of how he's looking at it right now. So I think it's worth it for him to do that. Really a bit more of a passive game this game than we have had other ones. The team that would be grouping up and pushing is Vici Gaming. But because they're a bit behind in the early game, they have to be careful. And instead, they're going to wait for FY here on the Sand King to pick up his Blink Dagger. And this is a very fast Blink Dagger. And when he has it, he should be able to get some kills. We're going to see a kill in the mid lane, actually. ROTK on the Venomancer is going to die a 3rd time, I believe. Yes, 0-3 and 1 for him. Not a good game for him.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. For all those Vici Gaming fans out there, I know a lot of people are fans of ROTK after the All-Star match. He is pretty hilarious to watch, if I do say so. Bottom lane, Weaver. There you see the Blink Dagger, as Purge just said. So expect, if you think that's what they're waiting for to actually start pushing, so they have some actual...
I think they have to because they don't have very good team fight right now. Weaver's looking for the Rasta, the Shadow Shaman here. He maybe can't get this kill. Look at all the Blink Daggers being purchased right now. Doom gets one, Panda gets one. And unfortunately for Vici Gaming, while they may have a Blink Dagger now on their Sand King, There's 2 Blink Daggers on Newbee now, so now Newbee's ability to initiate is very likely as well.
And remember, when you buy big items like this, a lot of times you don't want to show it to the enemy team because they can, when they have vision of you, they can click on you and see what items you have. Right now, there's 3 Blink Daggers, 2 on Newbee, 1 on Vici that neither team, I think, knows about. Let me see. So I know Sand King's in the trees. They can't see him. Brewmaster, okay, they definitely see the Brewmasters. And then Doom, he's still hiding in the right shop at top, but
he wants anybody to show up top because then he'll get a kill. But nobody has shown up just yet. He wants it to be Ancient Apparition, some support. If he waits long enough, they might show up. Then he can blink from here to here. Oh, he's TP next. He's TP mid actually. They want to fight. Here comes a blink maybe. He'll go in looking for the Doom target. Nothing yet. He Dooms on top of Venomancer. Venomancer is completely dead. Doesn't really lose a whole lot from that because he didn't have any of the other abilities to cast. But they kill Nature's Prophet as well here. This is going to be really bad for Vici Gaming. Not looking good. They're chasing him down. He's going to try to sprout himself. He can't TP just yet. Spawn. Great epicenter burst strike. Look at the magic damage. Brewmaster's going to split off though, and it's not going to be good for them. They disrupt the Sandstorm, and now FY running for his life. He's going to die as well. 3 dead heroes on Vici Gaming, and Newbee wants to take the 5 mil. They've got to be screaming right now because that fight puts them in a great spot. They do still get the tower here on the mid lane, but losing 3 heroes in exchange for 1 is not worth it.
Initiation too from Sync. You can't ask for a better initiation. It just shows how far behind they are in this game when they weren't able. Did they get 1 kill from that Sand King ult out of the 3?
They didn't. It looked like it, but it was because Brewmaster ultied. He got them all very low.
Yeah.
If they could have done that to start the fight, they would have been in a good spot, but there were so many dead heroes already at that point that it's very hard to come back from it.
Now Nature's Prophet's going to help push this top lane. This is what they need to do to help get the gold advantage, because by taking towers, not only do you get a little bit more map control, but you also get a bunch of gold. But we're going to see some TP support here from Newbee. This could be an absolute disaster for Vici to go in here. Brewmaster, a big punch left, and the Faithful to follow. Venomancer's dead. Nature's Prophet to follow, and now Ancient Apparition. This is bad news bears for Vici Gaming. They are far behind in this game for a deciding game for Newbee.
They're so close to losing right now. If they do this 1 or 2 more times, the game ends. So every fight is so crucial. What they need to do is they need to group up with 4 or 5 heroes and need to pick off somebody that's farming by himself. But look at Newbee. They're all in the same lane. If anybody gets jumped on, their entire team is there to back them up. And their gold advantage must be ridiculous right now. It's 5,000 and climbing. It's not insurmountable, but they've got to be careful. And look, there's 1 hero mid. This is How on the Ember Spirit. If they can kill him, that would be a nice comeback for them, but it's going to be tough. But they need to get more kills, or things are going to be out of control very soon.
Yeah, and notice he put a Spirit up top just in case Vici Gaming wanted to initiate upon them. He could just TP there right away. Not going to have to do that in fact, we have a TP at bottom by Shadow Shaman, as we have a offensive mount from Vici, so they did not get the tier 1 top. Instead, they died. Here comes the initiation from Doom onto Weaver. He did not do anything other than run away. A nice round keeping him in bay, but the Shikuchi was stolen by Rubik. Is this going to be enough for him to take down? Brewmaster destroys Nature's Prophet. Weaver falls as well. Oh boy, Vici Gaming is falling apart at the seams. Critical strike on Venomancer. 3 dead again. Make it 4. I don't know how they come back from this purge.
It's going to be so tough for them. They have to group up, and Newbee wants it. They keep defending everything perfectly. They're initiating perfectly, and Vici Gaming is probably just going through the motions and doing the best they can to not die. But the initiations and the farm advantage and the heroes Newbee have, they have heroes that can take control of fights. Whereas Vici Gaming has Venomancer. This is a hero that casually walks forward and pushes. Weaver can do things, but he needs his team to be able to stun and make some action happen. But the AA and the Veno, both of these heroes are heroes that aren't good at going around and making kills happen, and Newbee's heroes are all very offensive, and if they're ahead and they're offensive, it's just almost impossible for Vici Gaming to stop. They really needed to do a bit better in their laning stage and then group up and take towers, and all they've gotten so far was 1 on the mid lane.
And they're pushing against an Ember Spirit that once he gets items, it's going to be super hard to push against. And he starts to get there with another initiation. This time on Venomancer. There's absolutely nothing to do. Here comes the epicenter. It's 39, but remember, he's kind of under level. They're going to get 2 thanks to this Ancient Apparition. No, Brewmaster actually popped into his ulti, but only 1, and it looks like they'll lose 2 as a result. So not the trade you want if you're Vici. And this tower, in all likelihood, will go down. I don't know how Vici Gaming can defend this. As wow, Weaver comes in, he's had to kill him. He uses his time on trying to get rid of the Shikuchi, but there's the level net. Negative urn charge fly move. He has the tread, but it's not enough to stay alive. 19-3.
Good game, that's it. Newbee takes it. TI4 champions. Newbee comes all the way from the verge of elimination. Those are cannons. And
They take home $5 million. What a stomp from the last game. Vici Gaming looking sad, but Newbee takes it home. Really happy for those guys. They were on Tong Fu. Most of those players were on Tong Fu last year. They were the highest placing Chinese team at TI3. And at TI4, they take it home. Two Chinese teams battling it out in the finals, and really happy for those guys.